You're like an hour and a half in, and we're just getting to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. All right. We be on the same page.
Yeah.
I was about to say the same thing. All right.
Man, three-peat on the horizon. GOAT debate on the horizon, coach-wise, quarterback-wise. Jalen Hurts chain on the horizon. Saquon Barkley, possibly greatest rushing season. What are we feeling? What are we thinking? Initial early just vibe check. What's the vibe?
All right. Yeah, let's go vibe check. Let's go. So,
What's the
Barry, you go
vibe?
first. We've been talking.
Vibe check. Chiefs best defensive coordinator probably ever. I
Fair.
was looking because they forgot. Sorry, Ish.
Yeah.
He was on the Giants when they beat the Patriots.
Hey, listen, hell of a game plan. Hell of a game plan.
No, Mahomes, the Chiefs, they find a way to win. That's what great teams do every
Yep.
week. I think on paper, Eagles have a better roster, but I just can't bet against that man. That's a bad man, Mama. That's a bad man.
Listen, man, the baddest. Pause.
I feel good, bro. Yeah. So really what I'm happy about, and I kind of mentioned this last show, is I think we are in for one of the 3 best football games we've seen this season.
Yeah.
I think we're in for one of the 5 to 10 best football games we've seen in the past decade.
Yeah.
And one of the best Super Bowls we'll get this decade.
I can see it.
This is that's how I feel. I feel some years the Super Bowl is like last year.
Yeah.
The San Francisco Chiefs was like, all right, that's cool. But we've seen this story.
They played before.
We know it's Brock Purdy.
Overtime really say that game.
Yeah,
that's
for sure.
Yeah.
We're 100% correct about that. The Patriots Rams year. It was like Jared Goff, bro.
Goff.
Todd Gurley was hurt.
Listen, Todd Gurley and Cooper Kupp were hurt.
Yeah, it was like really. So this Super Bowl you walk into and you get a rematch of a Super Bowl that was already incredible.
Yeah, heated.
You get and then both of the teams are better than they were in that Super Bowl.
Exactly.
Both of the coaching staffs are better than they were in that Super Bowl.
Both quarterbacks are healthier.
Are healthier, and I would say probably better than they were in that Super Bowl. Yep. The only player that's gotten worse since then is Travis Kelce, and he's still Travis Kelce. Facts. So we'll be all right with that.
You know, shout out Lane Johnson. Lane Johnson got worse too, just to even it out.
Still Lane Johnson. But Saquon Barkley, another couple years of A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts chemistry, another couple years of Devontae and Jalen chemistry. And the secondary of the Eagles is really where this game gets interesting because Mahomes is who he is, but that's the best secondary in the league. So how does that look against a defense he hasn't seen against? You just called Spags one of the greatest defensive coordinator ever. On that other side, Vic Fangio is right in that class of one of the best big game defensive coordinator ever. So what is he able to do? Remember, he developed a game plan against Cam for that Broncos Super Bowl.
Facts.
And the Broncos, the Panthers is running through niggas that year. Like, running through everybody.
You don't go 15-1 on accident.
And, for sure. Yeah. And then in the playoffs went like 35-42. Like it was running through shit. So, he put up 38 on the Legion of Boom, bro. Like, he was tripping.
Straight belt.
They held them to 10 points.
Yeah.
So you got a guy that can do it on both sides defensively, and then you got 2 great offensive coordinators. Andy Reid obviously is head and shoulders above everybody, in my opinion, as far as offensive play calling right now. But he's still him. I'm catching a cramp in my leg, and it hurt really bad. I'm hoping it goes away. But that was a long-winded vibe check. But, dog, we just in for one of the greatest Super Bowls we've gotten in a while.
I agree. I think it's going to be one of the most entertaining Super Bowls. I think this will be Mahomes' first classic watch Super Bowls. I think of the Super Bowls he's had, they've been somewhat entertaining. You've had good moments. One was a stinker. One was like, and then there's 2 49ers with sprinkles in there. But, those are more hate watches because niggas hate the 49ers too.
Type shit.
This Super Bowl, I feel like, and I realized this when, because we're going to do 10 best players, that we just think are going to be on the field. This is probably the first time going into the Super Bowl for Mahomes. I think the Chiefs may have 5 of the 10 best players.
First time.
Where I feel like, they're actually a great, just top to bottom team.
Exactly.
I think Trent McDuffie might be the best corner in the league. I think Chris Jones still one of the best tackles in the league. They have great pieces everywhere. But on the flip side, like you just said, the Eagles had one of the best rosters I had ever seen in that Super Bowl, and they improved that roster somehow. Their corners are better. They have the best running back in the league. They still got a great tight end, 2 great wide receivers. They are loaded top to bottom. So I think
And I want to say real quick, as you were hitting the Eagles personnel, that their pass rush, the 22 Eagles has set like a pass rushing record for sacks, but this pass rush is meaner and more aggressive than that was. So it didn't get the sacks, but it dominates the line of scrimmage better than that.
And the 22 Eagles had a great front four, but a mediocre front seven because their linebackers were so bad. You got all pro linebackers now. Like, this roster is loaded top to bottom, and there's not a lot of things that I was worried about for either team. Kind of like for the Chiefs, it's like, all right, we're the best tackling team in the league. Let's just make sure we tackle. And, of course, tackling isn't really serious until we miss tackles, then it is. But my thing, and I said this when we kind of previewed the game, was, and I think this is what's going to drive my pick is who's going to win because I'm still kind of deciding, but whichever teams, like you mentioned, whatever team corners wins, I think will win this game. Whichever team secondary can hold up, I think is going to win this game because I think Cooper DeJean, Rodrigo Blankenship, I'm pretty sure, Darius Slay, Quinyon Mitchell, CDJ, they're going to be asked to try to keep up with a lot of speed, a lot of misdirection, a lot of things that this defense did struggle with. And this, what makes it so interesting, and this is why football is so amazing. Vic Fangio, like we just said, might be one of the 3 best defensive coordinators of my life. Mahomes is 8-0 against him.
That's crazy.
Mahomes is 3-0 against number 1 overall defenses, averaging 30.
That's crazy.
The Eagles are number 1 defense. They're like Brady, 2-1 versus number 1 defenses. Like, this is where
legends are born.
Legends are born. This is where your GOAT debate matters. Like when we talked about the GOAT debate last week, I said I thought Tom Brady was a GOAT after the 2014 Super Bowl. You come down from 10 versus the Legion of Boom, that's some GOAT shit. Like, if you take another number 1 defense and you are going to have to hoop, I think this is the one game. I think it's probably the second game this year. Well, be honest, let's say 3. Because the Bills game, you knew you was going to have to score. I think the Ravens game, you knew you was going to have to hoop. And I think this game, he is going to have to play great start to finish. And he was hurt last Super Bowl versus the Eagles. There were so many things they couldn't do last Super Bowl just because he could not physically move. I am excited to see like the chip on his shoulder because it was a lot of talking after that Super Bowl about the grass and about I'm ready for the game to start. Like if they started, like I am ready because they are ready to hoop. It's a lot of like it's gonna be a man's game. It's gonna be a man's game.
2 minutes for each. We'll go for both sides of the ball, both teams. Barry, start with you. What are if you had to give 3 keys to victory for the Chiefs, what would they be?
Contain Saquon.
Yeah.
Contain Jalen, and then just that defensive line. That's my 3.
1,000%. I think you got to win early downs. This would be my thing. You got to win first down on both sides of the ball. You have to tackle Saquon early on first down. Mm-hmm. You have to. Okay. All right, better. You got to win first down. You got to win third down. And you have to win one-on-one.
Yeah, no missed tackles. I forgot to add that.
On offense and defense, you got to win one-on-one. Xavier Worthy, you got to make Cooper DeJean miss. Trent McDuffie, you got to get that ball out of Devontae Smith's hand when he catches it. And on first down, you need to make sure it is 2nd and 8, not 2nd and 6.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm going to start from most important to least important, in my opinion. So number 1, and which is the most important thing for me, is your defensive line has to control the line of scrimmage, because not only does that stop Saquon from running, but it stops Jalen Hurts from running as well. And if Jalen Hurts has to drop back and throw the ball in the pocket 35 times, you're going to win that game. Mm-hmm. Secondly, piggyback off of what Ish said, you have to win in one-on-one on both sides of the ball, like he said, because they're going to if you trust McDuffie on AJ, and you trust McDuffie can win that matchup, you win this game.
Yes, literally.
If you trust Watson on Devontae Smith, and you trust Watson can win that matchup, and he does, you win this game. Yep. On the flip side, when the Eagles choose to go man on big downs, when they choose to send the blitz, and Hopkins, Worthy, and Hollywood Brown and Travis Kelce win, you win this game, which you've done in the past. Third, one momentum shifting play. Yeah. And when I say that, I prefer this to be a reverse are a 70-yard bomb to Xavier Worthy.
Yeah.
I want it to be an offensive play because I want it to affect the defense and put the pressure on the offense.
And listen, to your credit, you remember last Super Bowl, he came out and dropped a 60.
Yes.
He came out play action from the left hash to the right numbers.
Yes.
And they didn't even have the personnel to throw it back there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that is what I would say. And I would say one late momentum shifting play to make the world, the stadium, and the Eagles feel like, here we go again.
Yeah.
Like that play.
What was that Jalen Hurts fumble? That changed the game right there.
Yes.
The devil
Yes.
magic.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is what's important. I'm glad you mentioned that fumble. And I'm glad you mentioned momentum plays. Turnovers lose you playoff games. It don't matter who you are. Turnovers lose you playoff games. Ask Washington. It was 12-14. You fumble a kickoff. You're in Cancun.
Ask Detroit.
Ask Detroit.
Shit.
Like, turnovers will lose you games. So, Chiefs-wise, you cannot turn the ball over. Eagles, I feel like you have a little more latitude just because how the Chiefs play offense. Where they start, I feel like isn't as important as where the Eagles start because every 10 yards, every first down for the Eagles is really 9.5.
Yeah.
It's really 9.5. And I think that is, we're going to talk about X factors right now. My X factor is, I think they stopped the tush push at least once. I think they stopped the Josh Allen tush push. I think they're going to stop. I think they stopped this tush push at least once.
And it's a big one.
Yeah.
It's a big one. I want to add, before
Ultimate
I get into
devil
my
magic
X factor, the Chiefs are 34-1 when they win the turnover battle. You can't turn the ball over.
You can't.
The Chiefs are 34-1
Jesus.
when they win the turnover battle.
They're just
Or
too
tie
good.
it for that matter.
Yeah.
So if they just both have a turnover, they're still 34-1.
Right. Or if nobody turns it over.
Yeah, type shit. So,
Yep.
Barry, X factor for the game.
It's going to be crazy to say as a Detroit fan, but I think it's going to be C.J. Gardner-Smith.
Oh, yeah.
His mindset going into this game, is he going to be a hothead?
Yeah.
Is he going to make the right reads, reading Patrick Mahomes' eye? Is Patrick going to throw one of those lazy picks? That might
He's
change
thrown
the
a
game.
lot of picks. He's thrown
Yeah.
more picks in the in the Super Bowl than he has throughout the entire playoffs.
Yeah,
That's going
what-
to be it. That's my
Yeah.
X factor is going to be the safeties on the Eagles. That's how they play the secondary,
I'm-
guarding all the receivers.
I'm glad you mentioned CJ, and I'm glad they are playing again because I want to see if he's talking. I want to see who we talking to. Listen, I watched quarterback with Mahomes. We're going to dick ride for a little bit. But like we say with Luka, like we said, Steph, Braun, Kobe, Brady, let's see if he talked to 15. Because Mahomes the nigga to talk to.
I agree.
Let's see what the vibes are like when the games start.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I think the Eagles do have a confidence about them. But what worries me, and of course has worried me since the moment he took the job, is I think Nick Sirianni is – I feel like he's the elephant in the room. Like, when thinking about this matchup, everywhere I look, I see all-time greats at what they're doing. Offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, quarterback, coach, running back, wide receiver playing great. DeAndre Hopkins, one of the best wide receivers ever, finally getting to the Super Bowl. Travis Kelce, maybe his last Super Bowl. A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Jalen Carter, one of the youngest, best defensive players we've ever seen in this position. Aaron Donald, he's Aaron Donald. Andy Reid, possibly the best coach ever, trying to make the case. And then it's Nick Sirianni. And that is probably the biggest worry for me is like, man, does he go for it 4th and 2 with 2 minutes left on the Chiefs 40? Like, he might.
And does it work?
Yeah, like exactly. Like
Does
it's so intriguing how this is gonna go. I can't wait to watch it. And smack in the middle, Kendrick go perform. So like, I mean,
So, my X factor
yeah,
is George Karlaftis. Because if the Eagles, and specifically George Karlaftis, are able to set the edge and not allow Jalen to get out of the pocket and not allow Jalen to run those quarterback powers and things of that nature, is going to drastically change the Eagles' offense. And the reason I didn't say anybody else is because I tried to choose the X factor that wasn't in my top 10 players because I wanted to say Xavier Worthy. But
it's crazy. So my X factor is gonna be someone who's not in the top 10 either, but it's Justin Reed. Justin Reed,
another safety.
Yeah, he's another safety. You are going to have to contain Saquon Barkley outside of the running game in the short passing game. But also, the Chiefs are one of the worst teams in the league versus tight ends. I believe it is by design just because it's hard to move the ball consistently with tight ends, just because the short yardage and what you're actually getting. So I believe it's by design, especially when you blitz this much.
Like pick your poison.
Literally. But I think on crucial downs, I think Justin Reed's going to have to hold up in a lot of one-on-one situations against, like, Saquon Barkley, who's just elite. Like, it's just, after you just try to tackle him for 3.5 quarters, and now you got to go guard this Texas route. Like, I think it's going to be a big game for Justin Reed.
And I also will say I was debating between one on the Eagles, one on the Chiefs. I'll just give the one on the Eagles. It was Dallas Goedert. And it's to the point, you just reminded me when you said the tight end point. The Chiefs are bad against tight ends. Quiet is kept. That is Jalen's second favorite target. And also another quiet kept secret, he was a second best receiver on the Eagles in the Super Bowl. He had a really big game. He had he didn't have the touchdown, but he had a couple big plays that led to a touchdown. He was great in that game, and he was hurt in that game. His arm was fucked up. So I really do think that Dallas Goedert.
I have one more before I go. What are your Bears?
What's up?
I said I have one more, but before I go, what's yours?
My X Factor? Yeah. It's gonna be Jalen Hurts. Are y'all gonna make him throw the ball 30, 40 times?
Facts.
Or is Saquon gonna have to carry the load? So
that's
it's gonna be Jerry. It's gonna be how they do it, take care of Jalen Hurts.
I think mine's gonna be Zach Bond, all-pro linebacker for the Eagles. I think I mentioned how Justin Reed's gonna have to hold up in a lot of one-on-one situations. When you play the Chiefs, like when you play the Pats, like when you play the Lakers, you know the play is coming. You know it's gonna be a third down. It's gonna be you and Travis Kelce. And you're going to have to guard him. And you are all pro Zach Bond.
That's a good one.
I think if he holds up, they are going to have success, especially early versus the Chiefs. But if he cannot contain Travis Kelce, I think it'll be a bad look.
Okay.
Shout out Taylor Swift.
That's a good one. All right. Two quick first take topics.
Yeah.
Who has the bigger game? I'm going to choose the best player from each team. Mahomes or Saquon Barkley?
Mahomes.
I'm going Saquon. I think this game's gonna rely on Saquon. I think he's gonna deliver. Will it lead him to a W? We're gonna talk about that later.
I think Mahomes breaks Brady's passing record. I think he crossed 500.
I think Saquon is going to have the better game. I think Saquon is going to rush for 225 yards and make y'all realize why he didn't go for that rushing record.
Yeah.
And continue that later.
Okay.
So Mahomes 500, Saquon 225. And you said Saquon as well because they got to live through Saquon. All right. What does this game do for Jalen Hurts? After this game, do you start putting them in that top 4 echelon? Well, we'll say top 3 because Patrick Mahomes is somewhere else. So the top 3 of Lamar, Joe, and Josh, do you start putting them there? Does it not really matter? Are you still going to keep them where you have them because of the team that is around him? Does this change the conversation around Jalen Hurts?
Okay.
If he wins this game, and let me add a 35-38, 350 total yards.
He plays like the first game.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so if he plays like the first game and they win, he's better than Josh Allen. And I won't debate it. I won't discuss it. I won't entertain the idea of Josh Allen being better than him. Until Josh Allen gets to the Super Bowl and or beats Patrick Mahomes, I don't want to hear it. Jalen Hurts is already one of the more well-accomplished quarterbacks, just team success, but also one of the most consistent quarterbacks we've seen at just being a face of the franchise type of guy. When he's been there, when he's healthy, they've played well. They've played great. So I think winning a championship definitely puts him in that shortlist top 5 conversation, guys, for these next couple of years.
I think with a win, he gets in that 1B 2-way conversation. Like he's not Pat. He doesn't have Lamar's MVPs, but you could put him in the Joe Burrow, Josh Allen conversation.
Right, 1,000%.
He doesn't make really that many bad decisions as a Josh Allen. And then, unfortunately, Joe Burrow defense doesn't help him out a lot. So I would throw them in that 1B 2-way conversation.
Exactly.
Wow, I cannot believe for the first time today we completely disagree. If Jalen Hurts wins this game, that boy don't go nowhere. And I love Jalen Hurts. Y'all know how I feel about Jalen Hurts. I was one of the first players, first people out of the draft. When everybody said he can't throw, I said, nah, you got to look at quarterbacks' intangibles, and he just got it. Like, it's something about his mentality, his demeanor. You want him leading your franchise. I was correct about that. I think he's very similar to the guys we have coming out this year, Shedeur Sanders, Cam Ward. I think both of those gentlemen can be excellent A-plus, A-tier quarterbacks if they are in their right situation. I think Lamar, Josh Allen, Mahomes, you would have seen their talent if they were on Cleveland in a dumpster fire. You would have known he got to get out of there.
Right.
With Shedeur, with Jalen Hurts, etc., Jared Goff, quarterbacks like that, it's like if he's in a bad situation, he's going to be a bad quarterback.
Okay.
That is how I feel about Jalen Hurts. So I think Jalen Hurts is just in the best situation in football. I say, as far as quarterbacks, the best two situations in football are the two teams in the Super Bowl, the Chiefs and the Eagles. Those are the best two situations you can be in the NFL right now. I think if you replace Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson on the Eagles, they are in the Super Bowl, and it would be a detriment to their legacy if they lost the game with their team, with this team. That is the difference in the conversation between them. Is like if they didn't get to and they didn't win this Super Bowl with Saquon Barkley, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, the number one pass defense, number one rush defense, best front seven in football. Like if they lost a game like that, they never be able to recover from it. It would be essentially like Bron's 2011 finals performance if they lost a game like that. That's how detrimental I think it would be if one of them three lost. With Jalen losing, it would just be like, oh, you lost to Mahomes. It's okay because you're not on that level. And that's okay. He's just he doesn't have the arm he does. Either none of them do. He's not as accurate. He's not as mobile as Josh or Josh or Lamar. He's just not them, and that's okay. But he would start the conversation with Jaden Daniels, Matt Stafford at 5.
Oh yeah, see that's where I disagree because I think what you're saying, attribute wise for Jalen is correct, just arm talent or pure speed. But I think intangibles wise and his legs, I would choose him over Josh Allen any day of the week, 1,000%.
I don't think you would choose Josh Allen if you could have the Eagles now with Josh Allen, or you could have the Eagles with Jalen Hurts. You are the only person on this planet that would choose Jalen.
Now
Hurts.
let me defend it. Is Nick Sirianni still the coach?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
You can't change the situation. Yes.
No. If Nick Sirianni is still the coach, I would.
But Kellen Moore is still the offensive coordinator, and Vic Fangio is still the defensive coordinator.
Listen, that team, and we talked about it about how Josh Allen opened the how he opened his Super Bowl, the AFC Championship. His emotional instability plus Nick Sirianni would just be like a firework waiting to go off. I think Jalen, especially in the context of the Eagles, where yes, I think this is so weird. I think most of his value won't be found within the football field, the hashes of the field. I think he holds all of that team together. It's kind of like we'll see if he wins, but it gives me that Tim Duncan type quality. It was like, all right, KG had a better handle. KG was a better, flashier player, more athletic. But in a series or a game that matters, I trust Jalen Hurts not to tweak out on 3 of the most important drives of the game.
That's what I was going to say. Like maybe Jalen Hurts' arm talent is a positive because, like he said, if I got Joe, Lamar, and Josh, I'm eating up the whole playbook clip. Yeah. But with Jalen, I could make things a little bit easier. Right. And look where we are. Yeah.
I will say that you chose Tim Duncan. I would go Steph because of the Draymond aspect of it. Because of the Draymond aspect of it, and then just the ego managing he did with the coach. The owner got a big head. Draymond, KD, Clay.
1,000%.
I would go more Steph just off of the ownership had because you bringing in Nick Sirianni, so the coach, like everything was something over there. With Tim, it was the players, but he didn't have an issue with the front office. And shit. So
but definitely, I definitely like the Steph. I definitely like Steph. Yeah.
But I agree with you. I actually, because I love Jalen Hurts, so I'm not mad at y'all saying that at all. I want to be wrong. So, that's my guy. I
just got to hate on Josh Allen because he's on the Bills.
Bruh, I brought this topic up to get you to that point. I know what you do, dog. I know what you do, dog.
I got to get my shit off real quick.
But seriously,
we got bills to pay.
You feel me? Jalen is exactly what you said, and I actually love the Tim Duncan, Steph Curry comparison because it is like, we can call him the game manager that makes the play when he makes the play. Right. But what he is doing in that locker room, let's just go through the year. Yeah. Nick Sirianni talking and cussing out fans, shaving his head. Today is a new day. Bringing the kids to the press conference. Hey guys, what you gonna say now? Right. Starting the season, the Saquon drop where he shouldn't have passed the ball, having to deal with that. Then you get the AJ passing. Then you get him reading the book on the sideline. Jalen,
your vets are doing podcasts they're not cool no more. Like.
What? You got Lane Johnson in the locker room like, hell no, I don't want to go for that record. Yeah. And Saquon like, well, I would really like to. Yeah. Like, you dealing with all types of shit.
Lane Johnson like, it's the dumbest shit I ever heard. Saquon like, my father would really like my name on that record. just our family legacy. That would really make us proud.
And then every Sunday and Tuesday, Jalen walk to that podium, sit them arms on that table, and let that bedazzle dazzle.
Yeah.
And give y'all straightforward, eye-to-eye contact, calm, even, poise, never calms, never wavers. Yeah. That is a quality you can't teach. Yeah. It is an important quality, which is why Ish is saying what he's saying, and I can't disagree. Yeah. I don't agree, but I don't disagree either.
Right. Shout out to Harris.
All right. It's time. Yeah. It's time to make the picks. This is the biggest pick of the year. Yeah. This pick's so big, you be having Good Morning America making Super Bowl picks. Robin Givens be on that bitch making a pick.
like time for the weather. What do you think you're going to
win? Niggas don't even know football.
Yeah,
like
randomly.
Just saying shit. So the View making picks. You got Whoopi Goldberg. So it is that time. What Super Bowl is this?
59, I think.
Oh, 59. Appreciate you, bro. I swear I didn't know. I didn't have a clue. Super Bowl 59. Yeah. We got the Chiefs. We got the Eagles. Barry, who are you going with? Score and MVP.
Drum roll.
I'm going Eagles 31-27. MVP, Jalen Hurts.
I like it. Puts him in Aaron Rodgers conversation all the time, too. Can't wait for something to get back. God, I want the Eagles to do it so bad. Funny enough that I just said that, I am going to go Chiefs 34, Eagles 31, Patrick Mahomes Super Bowl MVP.
Rapid air.
Yeah.
All right. So, look.
Oh, and before you go, I just can't pick against Mahomes. I just can't pick against that nigga, dog.
Listen, bro. All right. I am going. I'm going to do it again. Eagles 38.
I'm getting flashbacks.
I'm going to do it again. I'm going to do it again, bro. I'm going to do it again. That's all right. Eagles 38. Chiefs 34. Saquon Barkley MVP. All right, let's end the show. That was episode. I have the Chiefs. I have the Chiefs.
Yeah.
28-24. Okay. Patrick Mahomes winning again, and I'll probably just keep saying that until he don't win. Yeah. But yeah, for the TikTok, I got the Eagles just in case they win. We can go right. But everybody knows how this shit is about to end.
That's funny. That's the thing. Like Mahomes just got this like just. We haven't said it this episode. I'm actually surprised. This is walk down aura. Like that boogeyman. Like, man, we're playing so good. Why are we only up 4? Like, I can't understand why we can't pull away. Like, and you mentioned this a couple weeks ago. The worst case scenario. Listen, and I know people don't remember.